In this bulletin, US TV evangelist visits Australia to meet with the supporters of the 53-year-old ministry.
A Muslim student teacher is refused a position in a Christian school because of her religion.
And the Australian government announces a new inquiry into how charities contribute back to society. This is InFocus News. Hello, I'm David Gibbons.
And I'm Tanya Chan. Thanks for joining us.
More than 200 people from Australia and New Zealand travelled last weekend to Windsor, Sydney to meet It Is Written international TV presenter Sean Boonstra. Since the TV ministry began in 1956, there have only been 3 presenters, all loved and respected by their audiences. George Vanderman was on air for 35 years. He was followed by Mark Finley, who anchored the show between 1991 and 2004. Boonstra, who became a Seventh-day Adventist Christian 16 years ago, has been the presenter for 5 years. Boonstra travelled to Australia for the first official gathering of It Is Written partners in the South Pacific.
It's partners who really make it happen. It's really a faith-based model. It's people saying, you know what, we believe it can happen. We believe Jesus is coming. We'll get behind it. And when that happens, God smiles.
While the TV ministry, which has won 2 million converts to Jesus worldwide, is a recognised program of the Adventist Church, it relies on donor support. It Is Written can be seen in 140 countries in 11 different languages. It's the only religious program on Australia's Channel 7 and is the most viewed weekly religious program on Australian TV. Viewers can also watch it on TV2 in New Zealand and on Foxtel in Australia. And I'll be speaking with Sean Boonstra later in the program.
A brand new Christian TV production studio was opened last weekend, and the whole project was built and funded by volunteers. The TV studio in Richmond, New South Wales, is the newest to be commissioned by the Adventist-owned Worldwide It Is Written ministry. It is the 3rd Adventist Media Network affiliate studio. The other 2 studios are in Western Australia and Papua New Guinea. International presenter Sean Boonstra was present from the United States to open the new studio together with Gary Kent. Kent is the It Is Written Oceania presenter for the South Pacific region.
We hope will be the start of many wonderful productions that the Lord will use to lead men and women to Jesus and salvation.
The studio was built on land donated by Adventist Church members, with labour, materials and equipment donated by other supporters or partners of the TV ministry. Hundreds of supporters attended the opening.
A Muslim student teacher has labelled a Christian school in Victoria discriminatory for refusing her a position because of her religion. Mother of 2, Rashida Dalal, 35, has complained to the Equal Opportunity Commission on the grounds of discrimination, prejudice and unequal employment opportunity. But Heathdale Christian College, located southwest of Melbourne in Werribee, is standing by its decision, saying that as a faith-based school, it expects its teachers, including student teachers, to support its Christian perspective.
The student teacher involved was advised in advance by her university of the school policy, and the school had already offered to help her find a placement elsewhere.
Under the provisions of Victoria's Equal Opportunity Act, as in other states, religious schools and bodies are permitted to limit employment to people who share their faith and values. The Australian government has announced a new inquiry into how the not-for-profit sector contributes to Australian society. The charitable sector has already been reviewed twice in the last 3 years by the federal government. First by Senate Committee on Disclosure and then by the Henry Tax Inquiry. Exhausted charities now have to face a 3rd inquiry, which is expected to complete its work by the end of 2009. New Zealand conducted inquiries into charities about 5 years ago, but found that not-for-profit organisations had no unfair advantage. But lobbying continues here in Australia to remove or limit tax concessions to charities.
Hope FM, a Seventh-day Adventist radio station in Fiji, was the first Christian broadcaster in the country to sign up for the Earth Hour campaign this year. Earth Hour is an annual environmental event that began in Sydney, Australia in 2007. Homes and businesses switch off their lights simultaneously for 1 hour to raise awareness about global warming. During Earth Hour on March 28, Hope FM still broadcast its programs but turned off all non-essential lights. In the lead-up to the event, Hope FM conducted interviews with Earth Hour representatives in Fijian, Hindi and English. Radio presenters also highlighted environmental and climate change stories to promote the cause.
A Member of Parliament in New South Wales has asked whether most Australian children are still brought up by a mother and a father. Liberal MP John Ajaka cast doubt on the definition of the normal family. But a federal government report called Families in Australia 2008 states couple families where the children are natural or adopted children of both parents are still the most common type of family. In 2007, couple families made up 73% of all families with children under 18. The most recent census figures say that there are about 26,000 same-sex couples in Australia, making up less than 1% of all families.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency in New Zealand got off to a good start with a charity fun run in Hamilton last weekend. ADRA New Zealand works alongside churches to organise community fun run events, raise funds and increase awareness of ADRA's activities. More than 50 people attended the first ADRA charity run event in Hamilton.
We do it every Sunday morning.
Good.
How was the trek? Bit of a challenge?
Yes.
Just had a good time, we had fun, we're able to raise money, and I really believe that it brought the church together.
The charity run will be held every year and is expected to attract larger crowds as its profile grows.
Seventh-day Adventists through Australia, New Zealand and Fiji are appealing to their communities to donate blood this Easter. In 2008, Adventists from 60 Australian churches donated blood at Red Cross blood services as part of the first annual You Can Too campaign. The You Can Too campaign is a great opportunity to remind people of the real meaning of Easter and serve the community in a practical way. Television ads urging the public to donate blood during Easter are currently being aired on Metropolitan and regional TV.
And in Britain, Christians were among thousands who marched through London during the G20 summit. The Put People First campaign urged the assembled world leaders to remember the poor despite global financial problems. The campaign came as the so-called G20 group of the world's largest economies prepared to meet in the British capital.
The Archbishop of Canterbury says God won't save the planet from global warming. Dr. Rowan Williams says it's not right to think we'll be protected, seeing as we caused the problems. Speaking at a lecture at York Minster, the Archbishop warned the world's greed is ruining the earth.
The first banner promoting the message of Jesus All About Life campaign has gone up outside offices of Bible Society in Sydney. The campaign has already run in Adelaide, the ACT and Tasmania. The New South Wales campaign starts on the 15th of September, and for 6 weeks, Jesus All About Life banners will fly outside more than 2,000 churches of various denominations across New South Wales. Jesus All About Life is a non-denominational mass media campaign which aims to increase the general public's awareness of the person of Jesus and what he said about life.
New research reveals the best way for Christian ministries to reach people in East Africa is by radio. Research conducted by the Far Eastern Broadcasting Company reveals that people have a very high reliance on radio compared to other media. The research also reveals Muslims and Christians alike turn to the radio instead of religious leaders for information. Radio gives these people a sense of connectedness to the world and confidence to think for themselves about everyday issues and current events. I'm always delighted when I meet people who watch the full half hour of InFocus on Hope TV each week. I'm glad you're enjoying the program.
And if you don't have Hope TV, you can also watch segments of the program online. Thanks for watching. I'm Tanya Chan.
And I'm David Gibbons. See you again next week.